Bear with me. I am trying very hard to make this video, but it is one of those videos that is very hard to make because of the raw emotion that I am feeling. Trying my best not to, but it is extremely hard. I haven't really talked about this to you guys before because it's hard. It has been so hard to think about it because of what has happened and what is happening right now in today's society and in the world. I'm sorry. Oh. Taking my glasses off because one, it's late, and two, because it will reflect, and I don't want that reflection. Oh my god, my allergies. Ugh. Okay. I'm gonna start off by saying that if that I'm going to put out a trigger warning here. Revolving trigger warning involving talk of hate and discrimination, especially towards the LGBTQ community, and loss of loved ones. If that is a triggering topic for you, please stop watching this video because I am going to be diving into some heavy topics like that involve that stuff. So this is your warning now. If you feel like you can get through this video, you can stay, but I don't want to trigger anyone. I don't want to hurt anyone, make anyone feel upset or anything like that. I don't want to bring up any harmful or really negative feelings and memories for people. Excuse me. Without further ado, I'm going to start off by saying that many of you guys know me. For those of you who have been watching my channel and my videos, you know that I am transgender. I identify as non-binary transmasc. My pronouns are they, them, and he, him, they, he. I was born female, but I came out at the age of 17. The summer of 2019 to 2020. So when I was going from my junior year to my senior year, I came out to my parents as non-binary. Now, I had already been out of the closet as LGBTQ. I came out as bisexual in 2013, and then I came out officially as gay in when I was 16, not 2013, sorry, I came out as bisexual when I was 13. So, transitioning from middle school to high school, transition. And then when I was 16, I came out as gay and ended a relationship that I had been off and on. I felt bad, mostly because it was me who was having the difficult feelings. Um, and I didn't want to hurt him, my partner at the time, but I knew that I couldn't keep lying to myself. And I realized that I had feelings for I liked girls and people who were non-binary more than I liked guys. Um and so yeah, when I came out as non-binary, my parents accepted me for who I am. I changed my name from my dead name to Luna. So a dead name, in case if you don't know what that is, a dead name is a name that you were given, that a person was given, but no longer go by that name. It's not their name anymore. Um, I was given a name, but then I changed it to Luna. I don't know if I'll ever change it again. I like Luna as it is. Regardless, if it's a feminine name, I like it because it's me. Luna means moon in Spanish. I'm Hispanic, but also my favorite character in the Harry Potter series is Luna Lovegood. I relate to her on a more personal level. I'm autistic. I see her as autistic coded in a way. She and I are quirky in our own little world. We've been bullied before, but she's very smart and very intelligent. Excuse me, sorry. Whew. My stomach is a bit off because this is a very hard video for me to make. Um, but yeah. Um, for my 18th birthday, I got my very first binder. And through COVID, I started transitioning socially. So, stopped using she, her pronouns, used they, them. Got a haircut. This is my new official haircut. Actually, the last haircut I got this now. So my hair is completely short. I look more masculine, androgynous. Yeah. Uh, um, when COVID came out, when COVID happened, a lot of people started turning to social media, and the major app that was used was TikTok. Um, I made an account. I made several accounts, mostly because the first time I ever made an account, they would see my face and be like, "That's a minor. That is a person under the age of 13. Can't be streaming." When I was over the age of 18 and I just graduated high school, so thanks TikTok. I do have a baby face, unfortunately. People think I'm like 13, 14, 15, 16 years old, but I'm 23. I was born in 2001. You could check my ID. I'm not going to show it. I'm not going to show my ID on here, don't worry. Um, but on TikTok, I would start making videos, mostly cosplay, but then I switched to making videos about my DID. This is the DID pride flag, so plurality. DID stands for dissociative identity disorder. I'll make a video. If you want me to make a video on that, I can do that, explaining what it is and how it affects one's life. But when I got diagnosed in 2023 with DID, I had already been open about it, about my DID, even though I wasn't officially diagnosed. I wasn't professionally diagnosed. You could say I was self-diagnosed. And the more reason why I was posting about it was because I was trying to spread awareness about it, but also trying to let people know that, hey, this something's happening to me. I need people to know this so I can get some help on how to deal with it and how to work with the alters and the voices and make the dissociation and the voices not necessarily go away, but ease down, and for me to understand and know what the hell is going on. Because with DID, with the amnesia barriers and how it works, it's scary. It's fucking terrifying. Um Anyways, it doesn't have that has nothing to do with the DID stuff, but I started also posting about I'm sorry, I'm double checking my battery on my computer because I'm filming this on my computer. I don't know if I have to switch over to my phone, but I think I'm good. But then I started posting about me being trans and non-binary. And of course, with how the world is and how the government is here in the US, I would get a lot of hate, a lot of negative comments, and some really disgusting comments. The F slur, people telling me to kill myself, to off myself, self delete. The biggest one is the join the 42%. If you don't know what that means, the 42% of the trans community has unfortunately committed. And by commit, I mean self delete. They have unalived themselves because of the hate and discrimination, and people would tell me to join that 42%. Obviously, I'm here still. I'm not going to at all. Depression sucks, but I'm here and I'm doing the best that I can. But while I was getting hate, I was also receiving some positive feedback and meeting some amazing friends. 3 in particular, all who were transgender, a bit older than me, but really sweet people. And these 3 people, they were just really awesome, you know? Um, 2 of them were in their 30s, one of them was in their 50s. But they would always hop onto my lives and, like, you know, say hi. And they were really great people. We had a lot of special interests together. I considered them really good friends, because they were kind. They were like me. They were trans. 2 of them had DID. Well, one of them most definitely did have DID because, you know, they would switch. Their alters would, you know, come in and, you know, they would feel comfortable, like, coming over and coming out and say hi. And then my other friend would mention the same things over and over and realize, oh, I didn't realize I was saying this over and over, because she couldn't remember. And when I asked her, do you think it's DID? She said, I don't know if it's DID, but it is definitely amnesia. There's definitely dissociation going on there. So we believed that it was most likely DID, but we weren't quite sure yet. So I wouldn't say that she had DID, but she definitely had dissociation and loss of time, because, you know, she would say the same things over and over, like, mention the same things, and we were like, you know, you've mentioned this so many times. She's like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, like, it's just I keep forgetting. And I'm like, that's perfectly fine, you don't have to apologize for that. um I'm actually gonna, you know, talk a little bit more about her. So her name was Kari, and Kari was a trans woman, so male to female. She had socially transitioned, and I think she was on hormones. I don't know. I can't remember. I never really asked. If I did, I don't remember. But Kari was this amazing person. And whenever I would go live, she would be like one of the first people to hop into my lives, and she would always take the bottom right hand corner of my live box. So if you are a TikTok user and you see when people go live, they have like this little thing where it's like a box and then another box, but it was like 8 different slots. So this box would be the one where you would see the live stream, and the other boxes were the guests. And Kari was always there. She basically never missed a live stream. Um, Now Kari did have some health issues, mostly because being someone who is older in her 50s, um, she had a lot of stress, mostly psychological and mental. But because of mental stuff, that would lead her to to having heart attacks and going to the hospital and whatnot. And I remember she was she was in my live one night, and she turned her camera on, and I saw that she was in the hospital bed. She had gone to the hospital mostly because she got an email saying that her surgery had been denied. So she was getting, I think, top or bottom surgery, I don't know which one, but she was getting surgery to medically and physically change her body, which is the surgery that I'm getting. I'm getting top surgery here. Hopefully later this year. Um, and that was hard for her. I mean, she really was trying to transition, and being denied that, it caused her to unfortunately have a heart attack, and she had to go to the hospital. While she was there, she faced discrimination. The person that was in her room with her would insult her and call her names, call her slurs. Eventually, that person was taken out of the room, but I feel like it. Even though she said, I don't know, she seemed to not really react in a very strong way, but I know deep down of knowing her that it did affect her. And people would, whenever she would hop into my live, this one default user that had no profile picture and had a really weird random name, would call her Carl, because obviously we know that she's trans, male to female. But this person wanted to be transphobic and be an asshole and call her Carl just to be silly. Wasn't silly. But every time that happened, she'd be like, I don't, it's fine. They're just a loser. They just are jealous and whatnot. And I'm like, you're badass. Um, I remember last year, the spring of last year, she got approved for getting her top surgery, and I was so happy for her. She was finally going to get her surgery. And I was like, oh my gosh, congratulations. Like, I can't wait for you to get your surgery. It was postponed, but she was going to get her surgery. She'd been approved. Um, I remember going live. I think it was in June of 2024 of last year. We were, talking and chatting. I think that's the live that I was like, asking her questions about her DID, and I was like, and I remember reading the question, and I was like, and it said it was were you traumatized as a child? And she did this, and I'm like, okay, yeah, okay, that's definitely it, yes. Kari being 50 in her 50s, obviously her parents, or whatever, being trans and being someone of an older generation where it wasn't accepted as much as it is now. Obviously there's going to be trauma and discrimination and hate. Um well, it was getting late and I remember that I needed to go. Um so what I ended up saying, so I said, "Night, love you. Talk to you later." Ended the stream. For the next couple months, we hadn't heard from Kari. We were, like, yeah, like I was like, yeah, we haven't heard from Kari. Like, I wonder if she's okay. And we were like, people in our friend group were saying that, yeah, we don't know what Kari's doing. She's probably, busy and whatnot. Um, well, in September, my mom and my stepdad went to go to Ireland for 2 weeks. I went to go see the second Beetlejuice movie with my dad, and because being home alone for 2 weeks and having anxiety and trauma, it's hard for me to be alone, especially for 2 weeks because you never know if like I'm gonna have a panic attack or something's gonna happen or go wrong, and my parents will be there. Well, I went home. I got home, went to the bathroom, and I pulled up TikTok, and I saw that one of my friends. I saw that one of my friends was live, and she had a background up with Kari's profile picture. And the background said rest in peace. When I saw that, I, I lost it. I screamed because I didn't know that Kari had passed away. Once I was done using the restroom, I hopped into the live. I was I was losing it. My friend basically accepted me into the live. And when I was done screaming, because I didn't want to scream, on a live because, earphone and headphone stuff, I didn't want to hurt anyone's ears. I unmuted and I said, "How? How did she pass?" My friend said that she had a heart attack. My friend Kari passed away August 12th, 2024. 6 days after we lost my dog, after we lost Puck. I was already having a hard time with Puck with the loss of my dog, and now one of my best friends is gone. Kari was an amazing person. And the reason why we weren't able to hear from her was because she was no longer with us. I don't think she ever I don't think she was able to get her surgery in time. The stress, the discrimination, the denial of her life-saving surgery, all of that built up and her heart couldn't take it anymore. This is this is heartbreaking for me. Not only because I lost my best friend, I lost one of my best friends to a heart attack, but also because she was trans and was denied her surgery. She basically died because of because the discrimination she couldn't take it anymore and her heart just gave out. I don't want to make it sound like she offed herself. No, it's just natural. But it's hard. It's still so very hard. a week later, I was playing Minecraft with some friends, and one of them had mentioned that seeing a username that was one of our friends, it was hard for him to see it. And he said that because that a friend had passed away, and I said, "Who?" And he said, "My friend Norse." And I started crying again. Finding out that your friend Kari, that my friend Kari passed away, and then a week later finding out that my friend Norse also passed away. It just started it over, and my depression began again. And all the while, my mom isn't here to help me. My mom's still in Ireland. And Norse. Ah, oh, sweet Norse. That was her name on TikTok. Norse Druid. Because she was pagan. Norse was trans, male to female. But she also had DID, and she and her system were awesome people. Even some of the negative, even some of the misguided alters. One in particular would go and pick up on one of the littles, and I would defend that little. And I tell that altar that you think you have power here, but you're not, and you can't hurt anyone because it's not okay. Your job is to protect, but you can't do that if you're bullying and harassing the others. And I do feel for the persecutors. That's what we call the misguided protectors or persecutors. I say misguided because they are misguided. Persecutors come from a very negative place. Norse Norse went through hell as a kid, and I know that. Otherwise she wouldn't have had DID. But she and her alters were very sweet. She had one altar in particular named Marcus, who every time something happened to me, he would front and be like, "Who do I need to fight?" Marcus was like an altar that really saw me as like his little sibling. I should have seen it coming, but I didn't because I was already missing Kari. But I went live one night in the evening in September, after a couple days after Kari had passed, or finding out that Kari had passed, because she had passed in August, but we didn't know until September. Um, I basically, sorry, I'm checking the time on my phone because I can't see the time on my computer. Not wearing my glasses, remember? I remember going live and just hanging out when Norse hopped into my live and was in the comment section, and she was saying that she and the wifey, that she calls her wife wifey, that she and her wife were going to the hospital. And I said, "Are you okay?" And she said, "Yeah, I'm just having some chest pain." And I'm like, "Okay, you're having okay." I didn't realize that this was going to be the last time I would ever speak to her or ever talk to her. The last thing I told her was, "I hope you feel better. I hope you get better. Because I can't lose you too." I told her that I loved her and that I hope she got better. And then she left. And she left alive. And that was the last time I ever spoke to her. A couple days later, when me and my friends were playing Minecraft to help me take my mind off the depression, that's when my friend told me that North had passed. The hardest thing ever. Two of the most important people to me are gone. And then, towards the end of the month, I found out that a third friend of mine had passed away. He and I weren't really that close. I consider him a friend though, even though we weren't, close. But he was super sweet. And he was also trans, female to male. His username was Werewolf King. And it's so hard. The worst part was that it was the same he passed away the same way that Kari and Norse had passed, from a heart attack. 3 people in my life who were transgender are no longer here, no longer with us. And all because their hearts couldn't take it anymore. The pain they felt, the pain that they have received, just because people can be really, really mean and hurtful. And there are some disgusting people out here hating on us just because of who the hell we are. We can't help being trans. We can't help it. If we could choose, I doubt that we would choose to be trans just because the discrimination is bad. If I could choose, I would choose to live a life where people didn't have to hate on me just because of who I am as a person. I'm not going to stop being trans. I'm not going to stop being non-binary. And my friends, we're sure for fuck's sake are not going to stop being who they are. For Kari, for Norse, for Werewolf King, for all 3 of them. I loved and cared deeply about them. But this world makes it so hard for us to live in society, and it made it so hard for them that their hearts, their bodies gave up. They never did, but their hearts gave up. I so wish that all 3 of them could be here today, to be still here and with us. I love Werewolf King's energy and kindness. I love Norse's energy and kindness and their system and Kari. I miss talking about anime with her. I miss just being her, having her energy and seeing her creations. So I'm going to end this video by saying that please don't stop fighting for us. Please don't give up on us. Please don't hate us just because you don't agree with the way we live our lives. We're still humans too. We still have feelings. And we just want to be left alone. We just want to live our lives without someone breathing down our backs and saying, you can't be trans. You can't live your life this way because it's not right. Well, fuck it. Fuck your beliefs. Our rights are more important than your beliefs. We have the freedom to live. And we're not going to stop living just because you don't fucking agree with us. Trans rights are human rights, guys. I'm not gonna stop being non-binary, and my friends weren't going to stop being trans. Even in the afterlife, which I very much do believe in, even now in spirit, they're still trans, and they are still themselves. So Kari, Norse, and Werewolf King, I love you guys so much. And I wish you could still be here with us. But you're in my heart. And I'm going to keep fighting for you guys. I'm doing it for you. Never give up, guys. Never give up.